Oh, sorry. I accidentally dropped your laptop in the pool, my sister sneered, after I refused to give her $29,000 for her ridiculous business idea. She smirked. Not like you ever use it for anything important anyway. Mom joined in, rolling her eyes. It's just an accident. Besides, maybe now you'll learn your place. You should be grateful we even keep you here. I didn't argue. I let their laughter echo. That night, I made a few calls, changed a few passwords, and at exactly 6:15 a.m., she woke up to something she never saw coming. The kitchen reeked of whiskey and burnt toast. It was too early for this kind of war, but in my house, dawn always seemed to arrive with someone shouting, "You don't demand money from your brother," Maris snapped, slamming her hand against the counter hard enough to make the plates jump. Ilara laughed, sharp as broken glass. He doesn't need it. He's been hoarding that inheritance like some pathetic little king. 30,000 could actually change my life. What's he gonna do with it? Sit in his room staring at a screen? Her eyes cut into me, waiting for me to flinch. You'd waste it, I murmured, not looking at her. That was enough. She grabbed my laptop, smirked, and let it fall out the back door into the pool. The splash rang louder than thunder. You bastard, she hissed. Now you've got nothing. And then, my father spoke, finally lifting his gaze from his half-empty glass. His voice was quiet, lethal. Maybe it's for the best. We all know what you did, Cassian. The room froze. My sister's smirk faltered. My mother's lips tightened. Only I stayed silent. But inside, something long buried twisted awake. My name is Cassian Rourke, 26 years old. The quiet son. The mistake that stayed home while the others lived their lives. I've been their shadow for years. The one they blamed when the lights went out, when money disappeared, when tempers snapped. I learned that silence kept me alive, even if it made me invisible. But silence is not the same as weakness. And sitting there, watching chlorine drip from the shell of my laptop, I knew something they didn't. I had been preparing for this day. Ilara leaned on the counter, arms crossed, venom in every word. 24, blonde like mom, always the chosen one. She had the kind of arrogance you can only get from being told you're special your whole life. Maris pretended to soothe, but her eyes said otherwise. She loved control more than either of her children. She wore her patience like a mask, cracking only when you noticed too much. Silas, our father, didn't shout. He didn't need to. His silence was a blade. His judgments lasted years. He believed I was guilty of something even when I wasn't. And me? I was the ghost they underestimated. This isn't about money, Ilara spat, her lipstick smudged like war paint. This is about fairness. Dad always said we'd split everything. Why should Cassian get to hold it hostage like some greedy little troll under a bridge? That inheritance, I said quietly, each word deliberate, was mine. Aunt Lyric gave it to me. Not you, not Mom, not Dad, just me. Her laugh was venomous. Please, she pitied you, Cass. That's all you've ever been, a walking charity case, a pathetic shadow we had to drag around. Her words should have cut. Instead, I just stared at her until her confidence faltered. But then Maris slipped. Don't bring Lyric into this. You know why she really cut ties with this family. The way she said it, rushed, defensive, almost pleading, told me everything. She wasn't protecting Ilara. She was protecting Silas. And Silas just sat there, staring into his glass, jaw tightening like steel. The kitchen air thickened, heavy as smoke. She left you everything and left us nothing, Silas finally roared, his voice trembling with years of suppressed bitterness. You were always her favorite, always. I met his glare without flinching, because I was the only one she could trust. Ilara let out a sharp, mocking laugh. Trusted? Don't make me choke. Aunt Lyric didn't give you money because of trust. She gave it because she knew you'd never do anything with it. You'd sit in your cave, hiding behind screens, playing the victim. Safe. Useless. My hand curled into a fist under the table. Not because she was wrong, but because she wanted it to hurt. Then I leaned forward, voice steady, slicing through her arrogance like glass. No, Ilara. This isn't about money. It's about what you all did to me. The silence that followed was louder than thunder. 16. Rain hammering the hospital roof. My clothes drenched, hands shaking like broken wires. Alara sat inside, tears streaming down her face, pretending she was innocent. Silas had grabbed my arm outside, his grip iron, his breath sharp with whiskey. You should have stopped her. You should have taken the blame. And I did. I told the police it was me driving. I let them strip my future bare. While Alara smiled at her reflection in the hospital bathroom, free of consequence. The scar of that night never healed. It festered. And they let me carry it because it was easier than carrying it themselves. I realized then, my silence hadn't protected me. It had chained me. Back in the kitchen, my voice finally broke their illusions. You want the truth? I said, my calmness slicing through their noise. Aunt Lyric didn't cut ties with you because of me. She didn't trust you because she caught Dad stealing from her. 10 years ago. The glass in Silas's hand shattered against the floor, shards sparkling like evidence. Alara's mouth fell open. You're lying. But Maris froze, her knuckles white against the counter. And in her silence the truth screamed louder than any denial. I knew, I whispered, leaning forward. I've always known. But I stayed quiet. I thought maybe one day you'd confess yourselves. For the first time, I saw fear in my father's eyes. Liar! Silas growled, his voice trembling not with rage, but with desperation. But Maris broke. Her mask cracked like porcelain. Stop, Silas. He's right. Her voice trembled. I knew. I knew all along. I stayed quiet because I didn't want this family to explode. But it was you. It was always you. Silas spun on her, betrayal dripping from his glare. You traitor! No, she cut him off, finally raising her voice. Not traitor. Just tired. Tired of covering for you. Tired of lying to protect your pride while he, she pointed at me, paid the price for everyone's sins. Alara looked at me then, and it wasn't anger in her eyes anymore. It was fear. Fear of the brother she thought would always stay silent. I stood, my chair scraping like thunder. I gave you silence. Tonight, I give you the truth. And with those words, the house cracked wide open. I didn't storm out. That would have been too easy for them. Too expected. Instead, I walked slowly, deliberately, through the living room, past the wall of smiling family portraits, lies frozen in frames. Each photo stared back at me like a ghost. The perfect family, built on my silence. Maris whispered my name once, her voice soft, breaking. Like an apology too late to matter, Alara called after me, her words sharp, desperate, tangled between anger and something dangerously close to regret. Silas stayed silent, drowning in the ruins of his own secrets. I kept walking. For the first time, my steps weren't heavy with shame. They were light with freedom. They'll never see me the same again, I thought. And that's the point. The dawn outside was softer than I'd ever seen it. The world, stripped of their voices, felt mine. For years, I had carried their lies like stones in my chest. Their guilt, their blame, their venom. Now, I carried nothing. I sat in my car, the leather seat cold against my back. My hands gripped the steering wheel, not in fear, but in control. For the first time, I belonged to no one but myself. I whispered into the morning light. Not for them, not for anyone, just for me. I am free. And in that silence, I exhaled a lifetime of weight I would never pick up again. If you were in my place, would you forgive them? Or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Share your thoughts below, like if Cassian's strength spoke to you. Subscribe for more stories of pain, truth, and healing.